All right, so welcome, guys. In this short podcast that I'll be recording with my friend Vince Opra, we are going to be discussing things regarding personal branding, things regarding lead generation, inbound lead generation, how to scale an info product. That's something that my friend has been able to do himself. So, Vince, thank you so much for being here today, my man. I would love you if you can do a short introduction about yourself, and then we can kick it off from there.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Juan. So basically, as Juan said, my name is Vince. I run a YouTube channel called Vince Opra. We are just closing in on 250,000 subscribers at the moment. And on that channel, we mainly teach people either how to learn video editing, if that's a skill that they want to acquire, or how to also make money with video editing by building a creative agency. So we also help freelancers to get more higher paying clients and start creative agencies themselves or transition to that model, right? So basically, in terms of everything I do, I obviously have like the YouTube side of things. So like ad revenue, affiliate marketing, sponsorships, all of that stuff. I have the main focus, which is Grow Creatives, our coaching program that, is the one that helps people get these monthly retainer clients as creatives. And we also have like 47 a month subscription group for people who want to learn just the video editing side of things called videoeditors.io. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's pretty much it about me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know Vince is quite a very humble guy, but he has a channel of over 200,000 subscribers. He has been doing very, very well with his coaching program. And before his coaching program, I think that he used to run also a YouTube management agency as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like that was kind of the main thing I started, a YouTube content agency. And by the way, I still work with a couple clients like on the side here and there, but it's just not necessarily the biggest or main priority right now. Because I actually on my coaching business, I'm partnered up with Greg, who's my partner. He was one of my first students, and he is still very much so actively running his YouTube agency, and it's doing really well. So it's kind of a good partnership, right? Because like I can put more focus into marketing the coaching business and also helping students and all that. But also, he's still part of it, and he is still our head coach, so helping everybody in the program on a day-to-day basis. And he's still in the trenches, and every single day he's up to date with what's working and what's not in this business model, right? So, yeah, I also used to run a YouTube agency for over 3 years, basically. And I still have some clients, but it's just not the main priority at the moment for me.
Yeah, got you. And yeah, I totally agree regarding like that partnership. Definitely Greg is on the wits. Also, Greg is a friend of mine. I can vouch for him and the type of, he's a smart guy, the quality of the service that he provides. So it makes total sense for you guys to be together on this. So anyway, the first thing that I would like to mention or to ask you, Vince, is regarding personal branding. You have been on this YouTube game for a long time. You have been able to build like this marketing asset, this YouTube channel of hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And also, very, very importantly, you have been able to connect with people like Andrew Tate, like Omar Elattar from The Passionate Few, the ex-mentor of Iman Gadget, that is Bob, right? His name is Bob. And multiple other like very, very successful people in the industry. You are very well connected. From all of these people that you have been able to meet, what will you say is the common denominator from the success of their personal brands, and yourself included as well?
Yeah, so there's two ways to measure a personal brand. The most common thing that people do is they just look at the subscriber count and the view count, and that is, I think, the less effective way to measure the power of a personal brand, because what matters more is how many people do you actually move enough and how many true fans you have to the point where they would pay for your products and services. Because at the end of the day, if you are trying to use this as a marketing channel, then that should be the key thing that you look at. And I think that's I wouldn't say it's a mistake I've made, but it's something I fell into where I was just very focused on growing my channel to be as big as possible. So I've had some of the most, successful tutorials around some editing softwares, for example, and I got a lot of views and subscribers from that. But I would say I'm definitely like, I don't have like 250,000 like true fans, though that's like a very small subset of my following of like probably 5,000 to 10,000 people or so. But regardless, it's still a good amount. I'm not like ungrateful or anything, but yeah. So the reason why I wanted to point this out, because this is very important, right? You gotta first, I think, identify, okay, what am I actually optimizing for? If it's to get sales, then what you need to do is figure out who is the target audience for your product or service. And then you want to make videos for them, right? Videos that give them value and videos that help them break their limiting beliefs so that they trust you. And also another big thing is you need to, like in real life, have gone through some struggles. You need to have some stories to share, because people connect. Like the whole idea of a personal brand is that it's personal, that it's about you, right? That you share your story, your journey, your struggles. And that's what people can really connect with if you start sharing those more vulnerable things. And this is something I've learned from Andrew Tate, actually, is that the question is not if you should or shouldn't build a personal brand, or that's not the only question. The question is whether you can do it, right? Because not everybody can. If you haven't got experience, yes, you can make videos about sharing your journey and sharing those things, but you should also like live through hard stuff in real life, or whatever the case is, learn things and then share those things on the personal brand. But I think, yeah, that's one big thing, is like make it personal, be clear about what you're going for, and be clear about who you're making the videos for. And then just being intentional is going to help a lot alone. I don't know if this is kind of the direction you wanted to go in with that question, because it's a little bit broad, right? But if you have any more specific things you want to go into that, I would be happy to do so. But these have been some of the biggest things for me.
Yeah, no, I think that this is perfect. Yeah, the question was regarding the common denominator, and I think that you summarized it very well. So to my understanding, the stories, also it's important that you have gone through hardship, so that you have like, this is something that I don't know, I have been thinking about this, and it's the importance of having like a marketable story. So, and usually what is a marketable story is people that has gone through a lot. Alex Hormozi, Iman Gadzi, Andrew Tate, all of these guys have that summarized. So I think that what you said is perfect. Also focusing on fans, you told me, not subscribers and vanity metrics, but more like loyal fans that believe in you, and make it intentional and make it personal. Are those like the common denominators from all of these guys?
Yes, and also make it valuable, right? Like, and when people talk about value, it's a very vague thing. But one of my friends, Charlie Morgan, he says this all the time, that value is created when pain is alleviated. So like, I think that should be also the mindset you go into making videos, is how do I erase some sort of pain from the viewer's life who's going to watch this? How can I help them make their life just a little bit better and solve this specific problem, or whatever the case might be? And in fact, Charlie is a true testament of this like true fan theory, because I knew him since he had around, I actually knew him since he had like just 0 subscribers, because we were messaging a bit because a friend of mine introduced him when he was just starting out. But even when he had like 15, 20,000 subscribers, he was making close to $1 million a month with his coaching business, right? So that just shows you the power of the platform if you are building a really strong and personal connection with your viewers.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that you actually told me also regarding that Charlie story, that you met him at a mastermind. I think you guys were on a judge or something on Dubai, and you met them. And actually
I met him personally there, but even before that I got introduced to another friend of mine, because I was like, we were thinking about doing the YouTube, it was actually going to work with my agency at that time, but it ended up, the deal ended up falling through the cracks. But regardless, he's done exceptionally well. But we actually met in person at William Brown's mastermind in Dubai like last year.
Got it. And bro, like a super side story, very, very funny, because I also, by pure coincidence, met Charlie like 3 years ago, because I was actually, for context, the way that I know Vince is because I was on his program like 3 years ago. Great program. I can vouch for it. If anyone is interested, definitely got me the legs and beyond to start my agency. But anyway, during that time, there was a method that you were also teaching on the program, that is reaching out to people through Loom videos. And sending those Loom videos, I actually booked a call with Charlie. And we had like a 10-minute call, again, the deal went through the cracks. But anyway, that was like a funny thing. Anyway, the second thing that I would like to cover, or the second question, even, is regarding personal brand as well, but analyzing it from the other way around. You often see like these personal brands that are maybe this derogative term, but it's like paper personal brands. They can grow a lot. They maybe stay relevant for a few months, a few years, but then they fell off. So what do you think is the number one reason of failure for people that build this type of personal brands, these personal brands that don't like a test through the time, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think the main thing is the person behind it, because the truth is that creating content after years of doing it is actually really difficult. A lot of people underestimate how hard it is to show up every single week, to sit down and make a video. Like it's a hard job, and it is a job. Like it does become a job after a while, even if it's a privileged position to be in, where you can, get clients through YouTube and views, and people like your content. That's great, but it still is a job. And so I think that's one part of it, is just the burnout. Like a lot of people just simply cannot handle making videos and talking about a lot of the same topics for years and years and years to come. And another part is the adaptability factor. Like a lot of people just get complacent and they don't innovate anymore. They get stuck in their old ways. And at some point, because these platforms change so quickly, right? At some point, whatever you've been doing is going to stop working. And I've had that happen to me as well. And even on my channel, like my views now are not necessarily the same as they were a year ago or on all my videos. But regardless, I don't give up. I just keep learning like what I could do differently and how I could adapt to the new landscape. And YouTube is like an ever-changing thing, right? It's always a different type of trend, always different type of video that's going to perform well. So I think that's another big reason why a lot of people fall off, is because it just stops being profitable for them because they didn't change with the platform. So it's like one of those things where I think to some extent you need to also be a consumer or have a team that's going to research ideas for you, like Juan's, which I can vouch for Juan. If you guys are looking for a good YouTube agency, is a good one. But yeah, like you need someone who's going to be on top of things and seeing what's working right now, because everything is always changing. So I think it's these two things. It's like burnout or not staying on top of where the platform is and how things are working. And then it stops working. And obviously nobody is, going to continue doing something that's not bringing in the results that they are after after a long period of time.
Got it, bro. I think that you said it perfectly. This is something that I can also tell by experience, by working with like multiple clients on the agency side of things, that a lot of clients, some clients, like they stop working with our agency, not because of the results, not because of the quality of the service. Like everything is great. They are getting clients, everything. The only reason is, hey, Juan, I am like burned out. But the funny thing is that they are kind of like related. I am burned out because I'm tired of talking about the same and the same and the same topic. So in your case, that you personally have gone through this over the last few years, how have you solved that? How have you like passed through that? What's your approach?
Yeah, you got to realize that, number one, people need to be reminded more often than they need to be taught. So it is actually a good sign, in my opinion, if you are repeating yourself in your content, because that means that you are not changing your mind all the time about the key things you talk about, and you are talking from a place of core principles to whatever it is that you are talking about. Because like the truth is that in most niches, whether it's fitness, whether it's coding, whether it's sales, whatever you're talking about, whatever your brand is about, there's probably only a handful of key things that people really need to learn, and a handful of misconceptions that people have, which you need to constantly tell them like it's not how it works, and help them install the correct mindset and worldview and paradigms, right? So it is totally normal if you're going to be repeating yourself a lot after 10, 15, 20, 100 videos. And in fact, you should do it, So I think it's just something like you gotta decide whether you're going to use YouTube as a hobby or are you going to use it as an actual acquisition channel for your business. A lot of people claim that they are doing it because they want leads and clients, but their actions don't match the actions of a true business owner. They don't make logical decisions. If you made a video that got you 50 leads and got you 5 clients at 10 grand, so that one video alone made you 50K, you should make that video over and over again until it stops working, because it has a good ROI on your time. So like, that's how I look at it, right? It's inputs and outputs. It's a system. You got to figure out what message resonates with your viewers, and then just nail on it and keep doing it until it stops working, and then look for something new. That's my perspective on it. Is this going to be the most creative approach in the world? No, but if you guys are following Juan because you want to build an actual business, then you should do what makes sense, not what your emotions necessarily tell you. And like, oh, I'm so tired of talking about these topics. Like, come on, you can sit down for 10 minutes a week and say the same shit if it's working. Or just like go at it from a slightly different angle, right? Whatever the case is. What do you think about that? Do you agree with me?
Bro, 100%. And I love that. Like, I love that perspective. I think also, and here's the thing, sometimes we know what we need to do, but still our mind gets in the way. So, I mean, I think it's very logical, and definitely people, including me, that I'm on the process, follow along these things, these lines. Is, hey, this is a business. I may want to do something, but that something is not what will lead me to results. So I'll refrain myself from doing that and just keep doubling down on what is working. I don't care about vanity metrics. I don't care about subscribers, views, and getting traction on that side of things, because I don't care about like fame. I just want to see, is this delivering me book calls for my service, for my coaching program, whatever? Is this closing clients? And if it is, I keep doing it. So I totally agree. Now, there's this phrase, I don't know if I'll get it right, but it's something along the lines of, you probably know it, sell people what they want at the backbone of what they need. Have you heard about it? Or is something like that? All right. So this, and the funny thing is that the phrase might not even be related to the question that I'll be asking, but anyway, I just thought about it. Here's the thing. Even though everything that you have shared is great, is practical, high utility, and it's going to work for the people that follow this blueprint on personal branding, people still care about the fluff, the vanity stuff, the subscribers. How can I grow my channel? So for those people to give them what they want, if you were starting from zero, or if an infopreneur, someone that is selling like a coaching program, something like that, wants to start a YouTube channel, what is the fastest way in your opinion, or what will be the blueprint that you'll follow to get to 10,000 subscribers over the next 12 to 18 months?
Yeah. Number one is, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just basically find other people in the similar space, go to their channel, go to their videos, sort by most popular, figure out what topics have performed exceptionally well for others, and then don't watch the video, just take notes of the title and make your own version of that. Even with the thumbnails, right? Like, go at all your competitors, sort their channels by most popular, get the top 10 thumbnails from all of them and put them in a folder. You'll have 100 thumbnails in one folder, analyze them, see which ones are the key similarities between them, and then just do what works and do your own version of it and try to make it even better than others. The reason why I said don't watch their video, because then you will just say the same shit subconsciously. Like, you don't want to copy them, but take ideas that are validated to work and that people are interested in, and then don't take some parts of that title, even maybe the thumbnail, right? Like, don't be a copycat fully, but don't also try to come up with everything from scratch, because there are already certain principles that you can observe in other successful channels and that you can apply to your own content, which is going to help you grow a lot. So that's one thing. It's like, make videos on topics that are proven to work. That's the biggest one. And then second is, make videos on evergreen topics. So in whatever space you are in, if it's educational based, if you have an info business behind it, there are probably very common questions in your space as well. If it's, let's say, coding, maybe it's how to learn Python as a beginner, right? So make these educational videos as well, which are very step-by-step, and that are rankable in the search bar. and then build up a backlog of these searchable evergreen videos, because those can bring you views even years from now. And also they are pretty good for, giving value to an audience. So if you ask them in the video to book a call with you or to go to your landing page or whatever it is, you will convert a percentage of that people for your offer. So that's to a large extent also how I built my own channel. And I think making evergreen searchable content on stuff that other people are already looking for is one of the most predictable ways to get to 10,000 subs. And then also the other one kind of plays into this as well. It's just like, doing research and seeing what's already working for others and not reinventing the wheel. Yeah, I would say I would just focus on these two.
Got it. And what about like the expectations that like someone that just started a channel like should have regarding the number of videos that they should post, for how long of a period, and all of that?
Yeah. I mean, YouTube is definitely a longer game. I do think posting at least 1 to 2 times a week is ideal, and you should not even expect pretty much anything, I think, from it for 6 months. YouTube is, generally speaking, it's very exponential, right? You might get results earlier than 6 months as well, but it's very hard to give advice on this because everybody starts at different levels, even in just how well they can speak to a camera. So like the first 6 months are probably going to be the main value you will be getting from making videos. Is probably not even going to be the results from it, but just the skill set that you are acquiring by filming those videos, right? So I would say just for 6 months, just don't even look at the numbers that much. I mean, obviously analyze what's working and what's not, but like don't stress out if you're not booking as many calls or getting as many clients as you want. Just mentally prepare to be in it for like years. But yeah, in a year, you should be able to get like 5 to 10,000 subscribers. If you stay consistent, you make videos on topics people are looking for, they're actually high quality, and you are getting better at them. Because like if you do 2 videos a week, that's 100 videos, in a year. So even if the first 20 sucked completely because you started from a bad level of talking to the camera or whatever, if you have 80 decent videos, and they are all on topics that people are searching for and they are proven to work, and you have good thumbnails, editing, whatever, like you have 80 chances to have one of them do well. And generally speaking, you can convert 1 to even 4% of the people who watch your video into subscribers. So if you have a really good video, if you get 100,000 views, you might even get like 2,000 to 3,000 subscribers from it. So you only need like a couple of videos that will get like 50 to 100K, views, and there you go, you're at 5K subs. So, yeah, that I know I went on a tangent, but that's kind of my answer to the question, I think.
No, that is great. That was great, bro. Sounds perfect. Now, regarding maybe getting transitioning from this like personal branding and YouTube type of topics, first of all, for context as well, will you mind sharing a range, an estimate of how much money are you making right now with the coaching program?
Yeah, we are currently around $500,000 a year range. We have been scaling a lot and building out a lot team-wise and restructuring this year. So hoping to see that number grow up. But yeah, overall, like with kind of like across everything, coaching related and like brand related. So it's kind of where we are at right now.
Got you. Now, what role does YouTube and overall like content creation plays into what you have been able to build so far with that like info product, with the coaching program, that done with the offer, and what you are planning to do for this scaling season?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. Starting my personal brand very early on was one of the best decisions I think I've ever made. And I think it's one that like probably nobody will regret starting. Yeah, in terms of like what kind of role it plays for the coaching business, we're getting all of our leads from YouTube, organic. We just started running retargeting ads as well, so we are spending some money now, but you can easily make 10 to 50K a month with just organic, or even more than that, to be honest, if you're good. So it's huge. Like it plays a role in lead generation. It plays a role in the authority building part. Like if you have a brand, people will just already look at you as an expert, so it's much easier to sell them. It plays a role in traffic as well. So pretty much everything, to be honest. And in terms of our plans, to scale from this. I'm really hoping to be by the end of the year, like in the at least 7-figure, but like ideal multi 7-figure a year run rate, and like a very, very solid team in place, which I feel like we have now. So in terms of the plan, it's literally just to do more and be better. Like the videos, I think Hormozy says this, but I think it's great. Like just do more and better. So planning to ramp up the video quality a lot, planning to ramp up the quantity a lot as well. We're doing now more newsletter emails as well. So right now we are doing 3 a week. We'll probably ramp that up too. And then we started running the retargeting ads. So on the YouTube channel. So that's another way we are booking more calls. And yeah, I mean, it's a pretty simple equation, right? It's just like getting traffic, taking it to a landing page, getting them booked into an intro call. Setter, talks to every single person, qualifies them if they are a good fit, book them into the sales guy's calendar, sales guy closes them, and then we fulfill the service on the back end, get them amazing results. Once we get them results, we can use those results to market the program, and it's kind of like this flywheel effect, right? So it's basically just going to be doing more of the same, better, and more consistently. And yeah, I think we should be able to get there, if we just do that.
All right, that makes sense. Sounds great. I have also a few more questions. I'll read you this one. Imagine you, Vince, were starting YouTube back from zero. So 30,000 subscribers back to zero. But with all of the knowledge that you currently have, right? Everything that you told me about stories, fans, creating like this marketable story, everything, you have all of the knowledge. Visualize yourself again with a content agency, and you are selling also your coaching offer on the side. So you already had like your content agency, you are selling the coaching offer, but you don't have like any YouTube channel. That you told me that right now you were generating all of the leads and clients from YouTube, but you don't have that, and you decide like you like to scale that coaching business. What will be like your exact game plan in the next 18 to 24 months to get your offer to $100,000 per month with YouTube? All of it coming from YouTube, all of it inbound. What will be your game plan? All of the knowledge, zero YouTube channel at the moment. That's kind of related to the previous one, but this one might be more specific and more to you.
Do I already have like clients in the coaching business? Like, am I already having some stories I can share, success stories, stuff like that?
A few. You have two decent case studies. Not great, but decent.
2?
Yeah.
Okay, well, first thing I would do is I would do probably like a my story video, just like helping people off the bat build up more of like a personal relationship with me, so to say, or like get to know my story. So that would be a video I'd definitely make. And then I would every single week I would start putting out like one really just value-based video in the specific coaching space that I'm in. That's like a search-based video, and just value, basically like answering, one of the more painful questions or problems people are dealing with, and just giving them pure value, with also a call to action inside to book a call with my team. And then I would, I would off the bat make like student interviews or client interviews with those success stories that I have, and share those on my channel. Usually those are super powerful because, it's like one thing if you say you're good at something. Juan, you can say that, yeah, we're amazing at running YouTube, channels. But if you have a client of yours tell people who are watching you that you're actually amazing and you've been great to work with, well, that hits very differently, because then you have that social proof aspect as well. So either ways, whatever case studies I would get, whatever results I would get, I would just bring my clients onto the channel as well once a week, not to get a lot of views with it, but just to book calls from those videos consistently, right? And yeah, I guess these would be what I would start with. So one evergreen video every week, one student success story. If I can do every week, then that's ideal. You will be able to book a lot of calls from that. And then if I still have the energy to do some more videos, then I would maybe take one video a week as well. That's a bit more of a gamble, something that might go wrong, might not work, but it might really blow up. And also just looking at some other channels, right? Identifying some of the new trends. Maybe I would do like one video that's trying to do some trend jacking, like trying to get on something that's working really well right now. And, uploading it knowing that it might not get a lot of views, but it might blow up. So I would try to do like those 3 uploads every week, stay consistent with it. Once I have, let's just call it a base of like 5,000 to 10,000 subscribers, and I'm getting at least a couple dozen thousand views every month, I would probably start running some retargeting ads as well to my channel. And yeah, I think if you have a really solid offer, it should be enough to eventually in a year or two get you to 100K a month. The main thing is, right, that you actually need to make sure that your product is amazing, because like Hormozy talks about this a lot, and I think it's super true, that word of mouth is going to be either working against you or for you, right? So a lot of people underestimate that you will definitely sabotage yourself. If you're selling a shit product, you can have really good marketing and everything, but eventually it will probably catch up to you, right? Especially if you're not in a huge market. So I would also obviously just put a lot of attention to that. Like, I think marketing and YouTube should be 20% of your work, and getting results for your clients and improving your program should be actually 80% of the work that you do on a day-to-day basis. And I think a lot of people do it backwards. And for that reason, they sell people into their program and they don't get amazing results, or they are not super happy with the experience. They don't feel like the person actually cared about them. And then again, you won't have those student interviews to advertise with. You will not have people enjoying it. So that can work really against you. So I would say, like, just keep that in mind as well, that yeah, YouTube and marketing and all of this is amazing, and it's great, and you should do it. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to how good your product and service is, because it's going to affect how fast you grow just as much.
Yeah, I totally agree. And maybe to add a little bit to that, I will also maybe clarify that, in my opinion, it is a matter of sequencing as well. Because, like, again, of course, in this case, we are talking on how to scale to $100,000 per month. So for that case, you do need an incredible product, something that is amazing, and something that will compound just because of word of mouth. But perhaps if you are just starting out, you don't even know what you are doing, you want to focus more on outreaching, just getting your feet wet, basically.
Yeah, and also if you are, let's say, because I think there's a good amount of people on your channel who are like 10 to 20K a month, let's say, or 10 to 30K a month. Like, a big part of it also is just like, yes, 0 to 10K a month, 0 to 20, 30K a month is like, if you're running a coaching business, it can be done as a one-man team. It can be just you grinding it out. But if you want to scale beyond 7 figures a year and do multi-7 or even 8 figures, you need to build a really solid team, right? And you need to remove yourself from the day-to-day things. And that's kind of like where I'm at right now. Like, I'm just getting out of sales. So we just got like closers and some really good setters on board who are calling up every single opt-in from the opt-in opt-ins, who are taking sales calls. You got to have a really good content team. Like, yeah, like all of these are going to be more and more important, because there is only so much time you have and energy you have. And, doing content, doing the client result stuff, doing sales, these are all separate roles, and you can do all of them in the beginning. And in fact, you should learn how to do all of them. But eventually you will need to get people who are just as good as you or even better than you in all these positions, so that you will actually be able to support that, scale without breaking the delivery or without breaking the sales side of things very quickly. Because it's like, it's one thing to make 50K a month, or it's one thing to make 100K a month. A lot of people do that. But how many of you guys actually can stay there, right? I've seen so many people go from 0 to 100K a month, 200K a month, even 500K a month with offers. And it's impressive, but what's more impressive is staying there and continually growing. And that's what's really difficult, right? Because, you can earn your seat at the table by just doing it once, but to stay at the table, like you have to do it over and over again. It's difficult. It's much harder, I would say, to continually grow once you got some success than getting that success in the initial first place. But yeah, anyways.
Got it. That sounds perfect. And actually on that line, because I think will be super valuable for people on the audience. What are some of the things that you maybe wish that you knew before starting your coaching program that you now know? For example, previous to like we are starting the podcast, we were talking about that you just mentioned, like building a team, finding the right A players, getting the right partners in place, finding the right people. So besides team, what you have learned about setters, about hiring, about like everything that involves running a great operation for a done with the offer. What are some of those things that you wish you knew before? Skills, mindset, whatever.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest ones is it doesn't have to be complex. In fact, it shouldn't be complex for you to make 100K a month. Like even when I joined Vill's mastermind back then, it was 10K for 2 days. The biggest takeaway for me was just that I met so many guys who were doing 500K a month to $1 million a month, and their offers in their businesses were simple, right? Get traffic with some channel, have a high ticket 5 to 10K offer, set calls, have a good closer team have a good sales team in place, just feed them as many calls as possible. Yeah. Because what a lot of people do is they basically, get their first few clients, maybe they hit 10K, 15K, 20K in a month, and then they start adding extra shit. They start running a low ticket thing. They start doing a mastermind. They start, doing a mid ticket, all of this stuff. And like in reality, you should just find something that's working and do more of it. And that's it, right? So that's one thing I wish I knew earlier, because I went down so many extra unnecessary paths, which if I didn't go down, I would be a lot further ahead. Also, don't be so afraid of giving away some percentage of your business. For the longest time, I was very cautious about losing out on margins, but it's a lot better to have 50% of 300K a month pie than to have 90% of a 30K a month pie, right? So you got to look at how much you're actually taking home at the end of the day, and not necessarily just your margins. Because it's not a flex to have 90% or 99% margins. It just means that, you don't have a team. I don't know how that Zoom did that, but yeah, it just means that you don't have a team. It just means that you're doing everything yourself and you're not an entrepreneur. You just have a high paid job. And yeah, you could argue that even being an entrepreneur is just a higher paid job if you do it well, whatever. But at the end of the day, you should be aiming to build a team and build a real business, right? And running a coaching business, consulting business, it's still a real business. A lot of people think about it as just this way to make some internet magical cash. But at the end of the day, you got to realize that every single person who buys your program is a real person who paid for a service that they're expecting to be great and life-changing. So you need to treat it that way. You need to treat it seriously and show up every day for your clients and do the best you can, right? And obviously, I'm not perfect either, and I'm not saying I am. Nobody is, but that's what you should strive for, I think. But yeah, so simplify things, keep it simple. There is no secret, there is no behind the curtain thing, right? That you don't know about. You probably also know exactly what you need to do. It's just you gotta fucking do it. That's usually the case, right? Juan, for example, with you, I don't know if you are at $1 million a year yet with the agency, but if you're not, you probably already kind of know what you need to do. It's probably not a lack of knowledge. It's more than likely a lack of action and just it's more than likely just a lack of actions. And same thing with you guys who are watching this. It's not super complex. There's no real secrets hidden behind the door or whatever. It just all comes down to putting it into action and actually executing. So yeah, I think I kind of lost my train of thought. So I don't know if I answered the original question. I think it was what I wish I knew. So yeah, simplify, stay on one track and just do more of what's working, and don't be afraid to just give away a piece of the pie. Yeah.
I mean, bro, everything has been great. Appreciate a lot, like everything that you have shared with me and with the audience today. Two things. One, where can people find you? What are your social media and all of that? And then I will ask you the last question.
Yeah, so it's Vince Opra, VinceOpra on both YouTube and Instagram. So those are probably the two places you can find me. Yeah.
Awesome. Anything, the last question, anything that you'd like to leave the audience with? Remember, it's for an infopreneur. We are trying to help people sell more of their like courses, done with the offers, anything that you'd like them to tell them?
Yeah, I mean, the harsh reality is that if you're not doing as much as you wanted to be doing, it's because you are simply just not good enough yet. And you either might not be good enough at content, you either might not be good enough at the actual thing you are teaching, you might not be good enough at team building. There could be a bunch of things. So I think the first step is always just to own up to it, take accountability, right? Like that's the biggest thing, is you have to take accountability and not blame the market, external circumstances, or anything like that. And try to identify what is that thing that you're not good enough yet. And then, you know, go ahead, find somebody who actually have overcome that problem before, and go to them and get help from them. But I would say 90% of people probably, they just have a traffic problem. They are not like with info businesses, most of the time it's like you're either not getting enough views on your landing page or enough booked calls. So if you are facing those problems, you should be making content very consistently. And if you are already making some money, like pay someone like Juan, honestly, to get a professional team or someone to help you with this, because it's very hard. You can't really be editing your own videos and doing all of this stuff if you are trying to run a business as well. And like be consistent on that side. And if you're doing like, you know, any sort of other things as well, like email outreach or cold outbound or ads or whatever it is, like, you know your numbers. Running this kind of business is really just inputs and outputs. So just figure out your numbers, figure out your KPIs, and work on hitting them. And that's, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it.
My man, this was absolutely great. Really appreciate your time. Really appreciate you as well. Thank you for being here today. For anyone watching, go ahead and check the links in the description of Vince. Go ahead and drop him a follow. And that's about it. Appreciate all of it, man. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for having me on. Yeah.